Okay, y'all. Back to the GSXR1000 starter issue. Gotta love the little starters. So I already know there's a problem with this one. This is actually the old starter that we originally removed. And we'll get into detail of what's going on, but I just wanted to show you a quick teardown of it really fast. So this is a basic, very simple starter. You're just taking the two bolts out and you're gonna start separating the top half. Be careful, there is washers in here. This one has two different washers. You have this one right here that just sits there, and then this washer. There's another one that's similar like this. This one absolutely destroyed itself, so it actually sits right there. And then this is a giant magnet. So the best way to do this, hold the top of the starter down, then pull the magnets off. Otherwise it'll move this, and you don't want to move the actual splines. 4 different magnets. Basic electric motor. If you know anything about electric motors, that's what it is. And then you'll lift this up, and this is where the brushes sit. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but the problem is the splines on this have been chewed to hell. And this, like I said, this is the old starter. So what we found with the new starter is once we took the old one, or the new one apart, is this housing, this is what holds the brushes, had broken actually one of the brushes. They're so thin that it just melted completely off. So what we did is, this is the other side. I mean, that's super, super thin.
Hard to see it, but
it's hard to see. You can, I'll do a side-by-side comparison to the brushes. So these are the old brushes and these were the new brushes. I don't know if you can tell how thick that is. One's a lot thicker than the other. So basically what we did is we took the old, or the new starter apart. We found this broken. So what we ended up doing is we took the other starter apart and we took the other brushes off. These guys, and we replaced them. And these are the old brushes as well. We haven't replaced those ones just quite yet. We're going to see if the starter works. But that's basically what we found out through tearing the starter apart. One of the brush connections just failed. It couldn't connect, and that's why it wasn't spinning. So we're actually going to test the new starter right now. Where is it?
it's over there.
Okay, let's go test it.
I put it on the bike.
We had good ground to begin with.
I thought you could pause this, but apparently not.
Well, we just never had enough to say, to have it to turn, which is a loss of communication inside the starter, which we did find because of the brushes. We're going to hook the ground up to it. We're also going to touch it to the bike ground just to make sure. Go ahead and give me a little bit of power after you got
perfect ground.
Well, look, now here's the thing on that. Is when we tested this the first time, we didn't have perfect ground. We only had half a ground. It was still reading, but it wasn't reading all the way. So go ahead and kick that real quick. Look at that. Oh, you kicked the circuit breaker on your power probe. It's not going to hold the...
Always. See that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but that's a fail-safe for the power probe, which is good. But we know that the starter is functioning properly now. Now we can hook it back up. There we go. So now I'll show you how to correctly install this, and then we'll test the system one more time, just so everybody understands it.
We can take it for a rip?
Not yet. We still got to figure out the throttle blades, which, by the way, we did find out. So as soon as we turn the key on, the throttle blades are wide open, but check this out. Take a listen. Turn the key off and we'll turn it back on real quick. Throttle blades are not communicating with the PCM of where they're sitting.
They'll open up just a little bit, and then they close right back off.
So we're going to end up having to diag that, figure out exactly what the problem is. Could be the TPS sensor, or it could be the actual motor itself just malfunctioning. We'll test it and we'll go from there. The next video will be us installing the starter and then testing the bike just to make sure it starts back up. So yeah.